Welcome back to Sunday Breakfast right here on ChannelOne TV with myself, Jude Duncan, and of course my colleague Edno Safo. Just gone by the news review segment where we're looking at the last night up until Friday's big headline stories. But for now, we delve into our next conversation where we focus on an interesting conversation coming up, and who would rather have this conversation with than someone who has a wealth of experience really when issues about relationship, just pure counseling, come up. And we are so excited because Pastor Benny joins us in studio. Right? It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
It's been a while. We miss you so much.
I miss you guys too. Great to be here.
Great to have you, Reverend.
Thank you.
I'm so excited, because the last time I got a lot of people say, no, that was a good conversation, right? So hopefully today you're able to give us more insights.
I hope we can add some value.
And it's even more so because of the conversation we have tabled for today on finances, right, in love relationships, not marriage, relationships.
Supporting your partner financially.
So when we say partner, let's define it carefully, right? Or maybe we should just do it wholesale. Partner before marriage and
Partner,
during
yes.
marriage, so we are able to just give us a brief overview of why this conversation is even important in the first place. I have so many questions. Everyone has so many questions. So we'll let you start. Tell us why this is important. Then we come in with some questions we have for you.
All right. Thank you very much, and thanks for having me. I think that this conversation is very important for anyone that is listening who may be dating someone or you're married. When marriage is the category, the conversation is different. Where you're not married yet to this person, but you are just exploring to find possibilities. The obligations and commitments are different. When you've considered that this person is the one you want to marry, the responsibility also lifts to a level. The challenge comes to play when people approach life in one phase or on one level, whether married or not, or dating or considering. People go full all in, all out. Those things becomes a problem. So these are the situations where many times you end up finding people thinking that they are vested in the relationship, but the relationship doesn't work.
True.
And they need to walk away. So they are placed at the horns of a dilemma where they need to make a decision. Okay, I've spent 3 years of my life, I've put in my money, the thing is not working, but it's a lot of investment I don't want to walk away from. It becomes a challenge. Sometimes people invest in those that they find, they are dating, they've not made a decision yet, but they're exploring the possibilities. So they are investing in schools, in rent, in so many different things.
It's unbelievable.
At the end of the day, this guy or this girl finds someone else they fall in love with. It's a whole new ballgame.
Wow.
So, these are the three things we can look at, strategically.
Interesting. So, for then, the next question would be for people who are in a relationship that is the end goal is marriage. How should they go or approach the issue of finances during the dating or courtship period?
Okay. When you're courting someone and you're sure this is the person you want to get married to, it's important for you to still have it in here that you are not married. There are some levels of commitments that should come when you are committed legally to the person. There is a vested interest there. See, until you sign,
You're not married.
you're not married.
Oh.
The person can change their mind at the altar,
That's true.
and they can still walk away.
No.
But even when you sign, sometimes, they can walk away as well.
Yes, but walking away wouldn't be just walk out of the room.
Right.
There are processes they need to be able to fulfill for walking away. You can't be separated if you like, but you can't just walk away when you have put on that agreement and it's legal. But until that point, right before, even if the pastor say I do, and I say I don't, I can walk out.
Right.
Wow.
At that point,
Right.
whatever investments you've made, Jack, you'll inherit vanity and the
It's
wind.
unbelievable. It's important. We'll talk about how to manage the disappointment after, because there are countless stories of how people have invested so much of their resources and also time, right? And something happens, and now some of them are not even able to recover from that heartbreak again. But let's talk about the need or otherwise for instance, coming together with joint ventures, joint accounts. You know, there's a whole conversation about, okay, I like you, you like me, we are dating. Let's put our money together. Let's start some investment fund. Let's get a joint account. What's your professional advice in these circumstances?
This I like you like me business. Is it when you are married?
When you are dating, right? So, like that. So they are saying, we are going to have a wedding.
Yeah.
We need to start putting funds together towards the big day and towards life after the marriage. So let's now have a joint account. Let's have a joint investment fund. All of those things. I'm sure you get that a lot in your...
Yeah, sometimes. But now people don't talk about those things that much. And you see, there's a level of prudence with which you approach your scarce resource. It's called frugality. You need to be frugal. You need to be very discerning when it comes to handling resources. Today, resources are so scarce that when you're making decisions about them, you need to be very calculated. You need to be very measured. I said again, even at the point where you are about to agree that I'm committing my life to you, people can change their minds. A lot of things can happen. Anything that becomes joint would become a ground for a lot of battle in case things don't work out. My agreement or my understanding and philosophy with this joint account, joint investment things are very much in the direction that when you work, I work, we can bring our money together for a cause. All right? It is very good and ideal that we're both transparent. You know what I earn, I know what you earn. Sometimes people hide a bit, things like that. But what I believe should be critical is, like you said, we want to build a future together. We want to build a future for our children. We want to build or invest into some things. We can have a pot where I take from here, you take from there, we put it in. That money has a mission. That money is directed for a purpose. So we can have in our household money that belongs to us. You have what belongs to you to use it to do your things. The man has what he has to do what he wants to do. But there are money that takes care of family, in-laws, investments and so on and so forth. Those things are put together. And no one has, or there's no single signatory to that. There should be that combined understanding. When you have this understanding, I think it makes life easier for you. Recently, I heard a story about one, it's a Nigerian couple. The lady went to church, was, inspired by the message of the servant of God and came into their investment account and took, some money to go and sow a seed. I'm a pastor. But, for me, these things are things we can learn from. The husband was like, no. So for the sake of context, let's say we have an investment, we've saved up to about 200,000. The person was inspired to go and sow like 100,000 Ghana cedis. And the husband was like, no. Now, remember, 70% of that contribution is coming from the man. And 30% is coming from the lady. But the lady is taking 50% of whatever they have saved up over a period to go sow a seed. Of course, she feels inspired and led to do that. But the question is, one, she didn't tell the husband. She took the money, and when the husband got the notification, because they both do, it was like, no, you can't do that. It said that, but God spoke to me to go invest. Then the conversation changed. Immediately God spoke to you about resources that don't belong to you alone. I want to know which this God is. God will bypass me, the man. And here is the order God created.
Yeah.
I'll say the head of Christ is the Father. So the
Yeah.
Father is the head of Christ. Christ is the head of the man.
Right.
The man is the head of the woman.
Yeah.
And the woman the children. God will bypass me to speak to you about something that belongs to us
Maybe the
without consulting me.
The man wasn't in the spirit like that.
Dude, we're going to have issues there. And you see, these are some of the things that people must understand. So when you are creating this, join that, it's not fun. Let people understand the realities. And I've seen a lot of teaching about that. Oh, we love ourselves. This thing, it changes. The way I'm feeling about you now can change 5 years down the line. Today is 20th of October.
Yeah.
It's our 18th year in marriage.
Wow, congratulations.
It's not been the same from day one. Ups, downs, highs, lows, but it's been a journey that we understand we need to be on. All right? So when you start talking about joint investment, joint this, joint that, is great, but it must have a purpose. If you bring all your money together in one bowl, and decisions need to be made because the obligations of you and your partner becomes different, it will bring challenges. And immediately money begin to move, people change.
Right.
So if I, as the man, I have a responsibility towards my mom, you do have towards your family, and you are taking, I'm taking. It gets to a time you need to take more, but I'm not agreeing. It brings all sorts of things. This is why money is a resource that must be well measured and ensure that it is well managed.
So, Reverend, when would you say is the right time to discuss finances when you're in a relationship?
Oh, right from the beginning.
Right from the beginning?
Money is important too. Yeah. Money is not everything, but poverty is also not everything.
Yeah.
So as long as money is an important measure in even how you feel about your partner, have discussions. How do you make money? Today, if you talk to a lady about what they bring to the table, they think you're being demeaning or disrespectful to them or insulting.
Yeah.
And of course, there are these lay queens who think this is the
table.
The table.
All that.
All right, you know, I'm learning as much from what you're saying, and I'm sure our viewers are too. And this is for them as much as it is for us. So if you are watching and you want to contribute to this conversation ongoing right now, you can do so via WhatsApp number 0204 447 033. 0204 447 033, and I'm sure Pastor Ben will be glad to give you all the necessary responses you want. On Twitter, the hashtag is Sunday Breakfast. I've seen a couple of your messages, keep them coming. We'll try and delve into them. So Pastor Ben, you were responding to Eno's table about, you were responding to Eno's question about
the table.
Yeah, when it's important to start a conversations and what you bring to the table and stuff like that.
Okay. I think it's important right from the onset because money is very important. People shouldn't downplay. You know, a lot of people quote that the love of money is the root of all evil. There is a definition to that. You know, it's the love of it, the pursuance that I must get this at all costs, and you trample on people, destroy. That is the root of all evil. But the Bible never said money is the root of all evil. In fact, the Bible says that money is good. It answers all things. It is the worship of it that is mammon. That becomes a problem. You know, so see, no matter how gifted and, you know, great your ideas might be, if you don't have the resources, you can't execute. Even when you want to be very romantic. Take your lady or your husband on a weekend and you want to spend it on, you know, maybe the sojourning, whatever, you know, like some very great sites.
Yeah.
Dude, you need money. You can't take prayer and anointing there. You need money, Lasha.
Interesting.
You know.
Wow. Also, let me ask you this question. Will you say it's a red flag in a relationship or in a marriage when either or both spouses don't know how much each other earn?
This question, forgive me, let me...
You have to sit down and address.
See, this question is very subjective.
Wow.
Reason being, see, not all our spouses have the financial intelligence. When some people know that you're broke, they are measured. When they know that there is plenty, they have a different attitude towards life because they are spendthrifts. They want to, there is, so if it's not there, they're okay. There are those when they know that there is no money, they can't handle it. They'll exit, they'll check out. Right? Because of some of these realities, including the fact that there are those who know how to manage money, man or woman. There are those who know very well how to handle money. There are those who don't know. They don't have. So it has nothing to do with gender. There are men who could spend. When they go out, I want to pay for this. They are not measured. But they will find a very good woman who knows how to control money. She knows when to release it. So when you have a household, it is important that you understand the roles the two of you play. Now, when it comes to that, then you would then find it very easy for you to say, based on the fact that I see you are better at handling money, I think you should be the controller of finance. So when both of you are bringing it together, we know who can be able to handle. Of course, there's a budget and so on and so forth. This helps for the management of your finances at home. And of course, the conversation. I think there was something I was trying to bring in when you asked your question, right? So it becomes critical that in your handling, don't forget, find first who among the two of you is better at handling it, and let them manage it very effectively. I think I digressed a bit from your question.
But it's still important.
Yeah, I know I'm on it, but
yeah. So the question is it okay that either should your spouse know your salary?
So now I set that foundation to be able to get there. So when you now find out that this person handles it better and I don't, or we both understand, that we can be able to then come to the table and say, oh yes, then I can be transparent about it. There are some people, immediately they know that your salary has changed, they get creative.
And the taste change.
Taste and preferences, they
oh God,
else I don't have like that. It's true. There are some people, immediately they know that, Charlie, my husband get increase. Oh, Charlie, let's go out. Let's do this. You know, like, Charlie, if I go down.
I feel.
Charlie, I want to cafe and you know about go. They will spend the money before the month comes to an end. And this is where it's important that sometimes when you have an increase, don't immediately change your lifestyle. Don't. When you're making money, there is no wisdom in even letting everyone know, Charlie, I got it, and you can easily take it out. No. You need to be measured. Because here, this journey, life can serve you a very cold one. Along the line, things can change.
Yeah.
And if you haven't built the adjustments in your family for them to handle scarcity and handle plenty, you will have issues.
There's this saying that
the only constant is that the tables turn.
Oh yeah.
They turn all the time.
Yeah.
Wow. I want us now to look at the other issue of how, especially, I don't want to personalize it, but there are conversations about how people are uncomfortable with who earns what, right? So a lot of the guys, how society is framed the man to be a provider and all of that. And for some reason, if the woman is earning more, it puts some people in a very uncomfortable situation. How should that be handled, especially for new couples where the woman is earning significantly more than the man would? And that would mean that ordinarily you should be providing more for the house or for the home, right? So just walk us through how to manage that as well.
Anytime this conversation comes up, I go back to Genesis. The question you asked is about the question of roles. You mentioned something that society builds the man to be the provider. It's true. But not every man will be able to provide everything the family needs. God understands that deficiency. So he said, I will make him a helper suitable. The problem is the definition of that helper suitable. A lot of women, feminists, have interpreted that to mean the woman is secondary to the man, or the woman is subservient to the vision of the man. It's never true. The original translation of help suitable, okay, is Eza, Kenagdo, all right, which means a help that is suitable. All through scripture, the only time you will find help mentioned is when God is referring to that to himself. So God describes himself as the help suitable for a person. Let me share a short story. Recently, I watched a little documentary where they brought in a story of some TikTokers. The girl, is dating a guy who is an evangelist. Trying to, anytime they are going out, the guy will leave this lady standing. Then he walks across the street and be talking to someone else. Be trying to preach the person, invite them to church, that kind of. The lady is not pleased. It kept going on. She will complain about it. The guy never changes. It's his assignment. One day, she got angry and walked away. For over a week or two, they never spoke. The guy will be trying to come around. She wouldn't mind. Then she went into prayer to ask God now that this guy been praying about, is he the right guy? Then God spoke to her. He said that you wanted an evangelist. How are you a help suitable for him? What kind of help would he need from the woman? It changed and bent her brain from that moment. So now, when they go out and the guy moves to talk to someone, all she does is she also finds someone else around to talk to the person. Because she now understands that my assignment is to be a help suitable for
the evangelist.
You might meet a man who doesn't have the resources you have. You may have more of the resources, which means that I must be the help suitable for him. Unfortunately, a lot of our women are being trained today that yes, it's a demonic doctrine.
They say your money is our money, my money is my money.
It's a demonic doctrine. It's a very evil thing. If I can have more, I love you, I believe in you. My assignment is to be a help suitable, which means that the deficiency he has, because to be a help suitable means that you do for him what he cannot do for himself. Today, when a woman is broke and the guy is fending and taking care of, that's his responsibility. When a woman makes money and more, not in all cases, but many times immediately they feel like I've outgrown him, I don't need him, I want to be independent. Then you don't understand your assignment as a help that is suitable. So when you're making more money, it should actually be the resource you use to strengthen and empower. Not to create division and separation. And that is where the core element is.
Reverend Bernie, would you say that if you're not, if you're in a courtship, can you treat helping financially as, giving out a loan?
To your
significant
as I go to the bank, we don't do loans here.
Would that mean that you're unsure of the relationship if you treat it as a loan?
If honestly you can help the person. You see, immediately there are these things about soft loans and things like that. You must also have the expectation that there's a possibility it may come or not come.
Right.
Usually when a lady gives a guy's loan, I'm not saying in all cases, usually, the guy feels the need to bring it back. When a lady takes it, usually it feels like, but you've helped me. So,
Yeah.
When these things come in, it's okay. I mean, if I can help you out, why not? Many times, when someone does it, it's because they know that they are supporting you. So they could say, oh, you know what? Maybe out of these 100, 50 is mine. But I took the 50 from somewhere, bring it, let me put it back there. So you can have that, but let's work to replenish. Some do that. And they do it just in a way to be able to also test your ability of faithfulness in handling what is not yours. So I don't think there's anything wrong when you are dating or courting, your, partner to be your spouse or your friend has some resources that you can use to be able to get some work done. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Reverend Ben Osei-Duah, there's an interesting message here.
Jesus.
So our viewer sends this one. It says, in my previous relationship, my fiancé couldn't deal with the fact that we moved into a home provided for by my parents. He wanted us to rent. He wasn't comfortable with the fact that we stayed together in a home my dad provided. We had to break up because of that. I wasn't prepared to rent, especially at where he wanted me to go and rent. Please don't mention my name.
Reverend, why do some men feel that way? That if a woman can help out,
it's connected to the question I earlier asked, right?
Yeah.
But this is even more so. If you
a
read a
woman
message
can help
carefully,
out, they feel some type of way, for lack of a better word of that.
See, society has made it so that a woman, when a woman start helping a guy, it comes up a lot many times later on. So I always tell guys, no matter what you do, don't let a woman pay your rent or settle you for life. Don't let the woman be the one to clean you out so that you will look proper.
so by what you're saying, it was the guy right to have walked out of the relationship because he didn't want to stay in the home?
When a guy does that, there is a mental element. It could be inferiority complex. It could also be he knows his ego is not permitting that. He wants to be the provider. When your father provides us a home and something happens, and it's not a home that he provided, one day you can walk him out. See, the problem is when people throw this in the faces of when they have provided, they try to avoid that. I don't know what his reasons might be. Maybe if they had given us more information, we could actually deal with it more pragmatically. But with the only information shared, the listener who shared this, there could be many reasons. And as long as this thing begins to come up, it also means that he feels that a man and a woman must leave so that they cleave. At that point, something hasn't left. So they're still hanging on to things.
She goes on to send a message that I really loved him. I think you need to help it. So maybe you could put out how we are able to reach you so you provide a lot more insights and counseling to.
Okay, well, you can reach me on WhatsApp. It's 0500 200 944. I'm also on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn and also Instagram.
As
Benny Osei-Duah. Yep, you'll find me.
Reverend, let me ask you this. What are the financial responsibilities of, partners? If you can help us with that. Or is it specific or it's tailored to the two of you? The two of you sit down to decide what you're supposed to be in charge of, what you're supposed to be in charge of.
Okay, it's the two. It's never written anywhere that the man must be the one paying fees. It's never written anywhere that the man must be the one buying money. It's not written anywhere, not even in our constitution, certainly not in the Bible.
Right.
But what is important is the two of you understand that we are building a project. I'm buying materials and this and that, paying for labor. It's huge, it's capital intensive. So let me put the resources there. Your resources will take care of home. It's an understanding. Because they understand that there are obligations. There needs to be a split somewhere. So they can bring all the money together and say, okay, this is what's going for fees and so on and so forth. That's all. You take care of this with yours. Let me take care of this with that. It's the understanding. For someone, the man must pay everything, including tissues and this and that and everything. All right? So your money will take care of all of us, but mine is mine. Then you know that you are dealing with a whole new different demon on a different level.
If a church member walked up to you and said that he was a stay-home dad, what would your advice be to him?
Hey, Charlie, stay-home dad doing what?
So the wife has a good job. She's CEO of a top investment firm, top bank. She's pretty much in a position to
Sort out everything.
Yeah. So I would rather stay home because my job is not paying well enough, and I'll take care of the kids, help them with their homework, do the errands and all of that. So stay home. That will you? So like I'm saying, if somebody walked up to you with such an arrangement, and believe me, there are quite a number of them out there, right? I know some personally. What would your advice be to such a man or a couple?
There are two things. Number one, I can never judge that person wrongly. That's what his family believes is the right call to help the family. Why not? However, for the sake of his own sanity, I hope that decision is working well for his mental health. Because I know the psychology of men. A man wants to step up in certain instances. If they are not doing that, they feel paralyzed. You can check with every other man. When a man is broke, it's worse than him being sick. When a man cannot do what he believes are his obligations. But if in the family setting, there are resources available that allows this man to be able to do that without worrying about that, I don't think he owes anyone an explanation.
You know, it's interesting. I saw a quote that said that poverty robs you of your dignity. Yeah, and that was quite profound. So what would be the reverse? A stay-home mom, because you hear that a lot, right? Is that we then give the same advice for women?
It's the same. See, the Bible says that who are you to judge another man's servant? It's by the master he stands up for. There are men who want their women to work. And if the woman is not working, it's always a fight at home.
True.
There are men who just want their women to stay at home, take care of the kids, take care of home. That's what they agree to. And I think we should respect that. But there is no one size fit all. That definitely you must stay at home and so on and so forth. There are women who are very gifted, talented, and able. They can do so much. When you meet someone who doesn't want you to touch anything, but just, it cripples them. So in the reverse, even your mental health becomes a problem. Because you can't handle it. You feel like there is so much you can give, but you're only limited to that. But there is a beauty about the feminine, the feminism or the femininity of a woman when she can really be in her role to be able to take care of home, take care of the man, take care of it. But this is not the case in every instance.
I wanted us to just briefly talk about reaching financial decisions, right? And the role of compromising in some of this, because, people struggle a lot with some of these decisions. Let me give you an example. I want my child to go to a particular international school. You watch the school fees as compared to some preparatory school down there. So what should couples look at in making some key financial decisions that affects them significantly with regards to their finances?
Brother, these things are real.
That's why I'm asking you.
These things are. I'm dealing with a situation like that for a family sitting in the US, and the challenge is people take decisions for so many different reasons. Some people want their kids to go to a particular school because of status. Some want their kids to get opportunity to connect with people of certain pedigree in society. So if your child goes to, Association International or Rich School or any, they feel that you'll be connected to the kids of other great men and women, which gives you some leverage when it comes to your social capital. Imagine if you are a classmate and a friend of His Excellency Akufo-Addo, all right? And you are friends. You have some brilliant ideas, and Ella is the daughter. You've worked on the show together, and along the line you call Ella, Charlie, tell your dad I've got this idea. He said, oh really? Bring him on a Sunday while eating fufu. He said, oh, I just want to hear. I hear you have some idea. You shared it was brilliant. So you know what do you do now? Come, let's get this project done together. Just by virtue of the fact that you connected. So people take these things very serious. It's not just because they want to, they want to give their kids opportunity to meet good people and great people. But sometimes, at the expense of what they cannot afford, it becomes a challenge. Remember, not everyone who goes to a high-grade school succeeds in life.
True.
Because success is not equated to the school you went to. There are people straight down from this village somewhere in Zabzugu that are doing way better.
Right.
Because the elements that connects people to climb up is not deposited in one geographical location. There are things that must rise within you. So you can be in that school, but the things that you need to connect internally are not there. It will mean nothing. All right. So if they are not able to go to Harvard, it doesn't mean they are failures in life. There are things that they can generate that the guy in Harvard can never see its daylight.
You know, I feel you so deeply on this, right? But just segue it back into the considerations that ought to be made before some significant or impactful financial decisions are made.
Of course, you need to look at what is coming in and what are the obligations you have. This is the first consideration. What are your financial obligations?
So the state of affairs.
Of course, understand what you need to do first, and then have a stock take.
All right.
See what you have coming in, and then start distributing it according to their levels of importance, things you cannot do without. Imagine taking your kids to go to the best schools, but you can't pay the rent that allows you to stay in the vicinity. And you have to move out about 40 kilometers. So you now need to travel with your kids. Now the cost of transporting them. So all these things are things you need to be able to factor. Either than that, you have the best ideas, you're making the decisions, but it will go against you along the line. So look at your resources, look at the obligations you have, and look at what you cannot do without, and be able to manage yourself effectively. On those notes.
Reverend, is there a time, and I know we have to go, but is there a time where
so much.
It's not okay to support?
If you are dating someone, you are just knowing yourself. Don't start wasting money. Don't start paying school fees. Don't start paying rent. Hey. Oh, you can share food. Their parents are there. Oh. Who am I watching? This camera, that one, which one?
This one.
Watch. Please, oh. Don't come back after 4 years. This lady meets someone more handsome, more smart, more exposed, and then suddenly you don't understand. Things change. Oh. Their parents must take care of them. When they come and they still are interested and you want to take that a different level, it's a different conversation. I'm saying this only purely as a counselor, as a pastime, so help somebody.
The message changes based on the pulpit, right? And the platform.
But I'll bring all together in one place. So that he who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the church.
Wow.
Amen.
I had so much fun listening to Reverend Benny Osei-Duah, a counselor, a relationship coach, a preacher of the gospel, giving us really valuable insights into managing a really complicated aspects of our relationship lives. And I'm sure you've had so much value. This will be live on or be uploaded on our YouTube channel, ChannelOne TV. If you missed any part, you could go back, learn it again, and have some insights for yourself. We'll take a quick break. When we are back, we have more exciting and engaging content for you. This is Sunday Breakfast.